What's going on, y'all? This is Shaun of the Dead. So on my way to work this morning, and I decided I would throw out a little thing. I got some comments last night, and I hadn't checked anything yet this morning. But I've already gotten comments last night in regards to some of my videos. Some of them positives. There was a negative one in there, which I thought was kind of funny because it was a pointless response, which seems to be the anti-gun lobbyists and the anti-gun movement in general. Most of their stuff's not very founded on anything. It's like, it's all conjecture and their opinion. It's not the letter of the law, So it always kind of makes me chuckle whenever people try to argue with me on certain points. I want to tell you today why gun bans won't work. It's super quick, super easy. I've touched on many of these topics before, but I'm just going to make it short and sweet and to the point. This is why gun bans will not work. We've had a war on drugs in this country since I can remember, and we still have however many overdoses a year from our youth dying because of drugs. The war on drugs hasn't stopped drugs coming to this country. As a matter of fact, we haven't even kicked the cartels off of our sovereign nation land. To me, that's an act of terrorism and an act of war. They're waging war on us by, confiscating our ground. They've taken ground, they've taken a foothold. They've landed on our Normandy beach and said, we've got a place here, and our government's allowing them to stay there. So that lets me know that, for one, either they're not fighting very hard on the war of drugs, or they personally just, they have something vested in the reason to let drugs through. So, just saying, it's kind of common sense. I mean, it wouldn't be hard to send a couple of, A-10s across there and, missile the crap out of the area. You send out some propaganda beforehand, send out some information. It's like, hey, if, people have 24 hours to clear out, whoever's not here, whoever's remaining behind is going to be shot or bombed. We have Predator drones. We don't have to send a person in a jet, then we can go sweep the place for mines. Next thing is, and this will make me pretty unpopular also, how many illegal aliens do we have coming across every year? From, Cuba, from Mexico, from wherever. If you can't stop a whole person from coming across the border, hiding out, you can't stop drugs from coming in, which we have a quote-unquote war on, an ongoing war that's been going on for decades. Since we can't stop drugs and we can't stop people from entering into our country, how are we going to stop guns from entering our country? Just because you put a gun ban out there, the criminals are going to find the guns. The only thing that this crap does is disarm the citizens that are honest. So, I say this is why gun ban won't work for your agenda, is because people that are bad are going to still be able to get the guns that they want, and they're going to get full military grade versions from other countries because they're not going to have access to civilian grade versions here. I'd rather for them to have a semi-automatic, sport rifle that has a 30-round mag than to end up with a fully automatic AK-47, or a fully automatic FAMAS or a Galil or whatever from some other country. I mean, I'm probably speaking Greek to most of you guys in Congress because you guys don't even understand the nomenclature. So that's why gun bans won't work, is simply because if bad guys want guns, bad guys will get guns. There will still be gun-related crime. There's nothing you can do to stop it because you can't obviously stop the simple things like a war on drugs or from illegal aliens crossing our borders without proper documentation. I mean, if you can't stop a human being from walking across the fence line, then how are you going to expect that person not to be carrying an AK-47? Just simple. It's just super simple. That's why a gun ban won't work. It's completely irrelevant. And again, I mean, bad guys are inherently bad, so they're going to inherently keep what keeps them going. So they're going to obtain those firearms somehow.